4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, Minnesota Vikings fans? Welcome to another episode of House Calls, brought to you by your host, Skoldoc. This is brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Dave. And Dave, I got one thing to say to you, my brother. Football is back. Feels good.
Yes, it is. Someone's got America. Oh, it's a pong. He's got beer pong or red solo cups. That's awesome.
It's like a flag with cups. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I'm
Cold
finally
cash,
feeling
$5.
good.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Feeling good. Last week I had COVID. That was awesome.
Yeah, it sucks.
Feeling a lot better now. So
Family's
I'm actually
doing
feeling
better?
normal. It's like one of the first weeks ever. It's only been 8 months.
Yeah, man. It's good that you're finally 100%.
I think football's made me made me healthy again, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's around the corner, man. It's about to happen.
Vikings have reported to training camp. Everyone is good to go. We're going to talk about this, but mostly everybody avoided PUP to start camp except for our rookie tight end, Chaz. Bartholomew, and then some guy I didn't hear of yet, Chaz. But that is great news, and we'll get into that more. But Robert044 says, I am hyped for the season. And Robert, you're not alone, man. It feels like Vikings Nation is ready to go this year, not only because JJ McCarthy and, we're ready to jump into that pool and see what he's made of, but this roster is damn good. We've been talking about it all offseason. They're in training camp. It's time to watch them. It's time to watch this thing come alive. And it's time to sit back and enjoy the show, man.
Yeah, I just got done listening to the full press conference with Ian, and most of the questions were sent to O'Connell. A lot of this is what we're doing. This is our philosophy behind this, and I think it's such a well-oiled machine now that it's almost coming second nature. People seem to just ask the same questions. But I think this confidence is, just the relationship he has with the media that we really haven't had with a coach in a long time. We always seem to have like an adversarial, relationship with the media and our coach. But I think the relationship with O'Connell's great. I think he manages the, I think there's just such a positivity around our GM, our coach, and our team. Nobody holds out. I feel just like it's just it's a model franchise, and I've always said it was a destination franchise last 3 years. So I'm just glad to see him talking again, and especially it seems like, hey, McCarthy's our guy. This is who it is. He knows his job. He just got to come in and perform. And I think they've done everything and instilled so much confidence in him to say, you're the guy, come into this training camp. You're our leader.
100%. Did you get a chance to listen to the presser today for what Kwesi and O'Connell said to the media jackals?
That was what's the question?
So I was just wondering if you listened to the whole thing or just got like the snippets, but like the first question they asked him,
it was like 25 minutes. I listened to 20 of it.
Got it. Yeah. So the whole thing, but yeah, first question, like you were just saying, they were talking about the presence, right? Like of JJ McCarthy, like the leaders of this team are flocking to him because he's got it. You know what I mean? He's just got it. He's 23 years old and he's ready to lead this team. Everyone's behind him and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And what is your general impression of how this thing is going to go? Do you think he's going to start out pretty rough or just have just ultimate ups and downs, good day, bad day through training camp? What's your gut telling you how this thing kind of plays out over training camp?
I think it's going to be a good and bad days because like I think we said in the last few shows that we did that, people are trying to get used to the speed of the game can I fit this ball in here? Even with Cousins, it was like, oh God, he threw 2 picks today. The season's over. And then the next day, he's like lighting up the defense. I think I would not expect, a first year starter to do anything else but to learn what he can and cannot do. And if he has a bad day, I'm not worried. I mean, look at last year. Our starting quarterback had bad days, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is JJ's got a shot at taking over," and then he starts out the year on fire, right? So I think good days and bad days are going to happen, and he's facing one of the best defenses in the league every play. So and he's a starter now. He's gonna be facing the best defense every day.
100%. Dylan, I am feeling myself because football is back, baby. First practice is tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's what he said. Let me answer this question. David, need a wrench back. You already asked me this a few weeks ago. I've never given a wrench to anybody, and I'm not giving wrenches out because I myself have been banned from one of my good friends' shows because someone had a wrench and kicked me out of the show. I'm back now, but yeah, I don't give out wrenches. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Let's jump into this. Let's start with Darrisaw here because that was pretty surprising to me that he did not start on the physical, unable to perform list, and he is ready to go. O'Connell said he's going to start out with individual work right away, starting tomorrow, and they're going to gradually increase his workload, try to get him into some 11 on 11s, as the weeks go on. My anticipation, based on this news, is that he plays week 1. I think he is on pace to start in Chicago Monday Night Football week 1, which is great news.
Yeah, we were off air talking about this, and yeah, it's amazing news. I was excited to hear that nobody of consequence really is on the pup list. And with Moore and Fries also not going on the pup list, huge deal because Moore is a little is an exciting player, and in used right, he's going to be a pretty exciting player. Also, I think he's got some return ability. And then you got Fries, which is just he was on the cusp of being a breakout player last year when he got hurt. So just that carryover is important, especially with a rookie on the left side. And then Darrisaw, that was the big worry is will Darrisaw, sit out 6 games of the season, and what will that look like with a guy we barely, I don't know if we've ever heard of him until we signed him, starting a left tackle, but that's important. So hopefully Darrisaw, man, he's got to turn the corner. I feel pretty good about players starting getting to their mid 20s, late 20s, is that they understand their body a lot more, and they got the training down, the the food, the right, what they eat right. Last year was a pretty freak accident. So I feel good about guys that are starting to get into their prime of their career, that they can stay healthy and get after it. And like you said, it really looks like trajectories week 1 starter. That was the best news of the day.
I'm pretty sure every injury Darrisaw's had has been freak. When we drafted him, I think he had a hernia, if I remember correctly, had abdominal surgery, I think. And he was, slow to start in training camp with that. And then it was concussion issues with him. And that's just a freak thing. And then obviously this latest injury, which was you get rolled up on, it can happen to any offensive lineman. It hit him from the back. He can't see it coming. So no, Bob, I wouldn't say Darrisaw is injury prone. In fact, as a doctor, I've had this discussion before on the show. I don't really love the term injury prone. I think that every single injury needs to be evaluated on its own. Like we are talking about these injuries and how they're just freak injuries versus something, that has higher recurrence rates that tend to worry you, like Bartholomew and lower back injuries, disc injuries in the neck, in the back. Those do scare me because they tend to have higher recurrence rates. Now with Hunter, we got really lucky because he was treated and it did not come back. But I was a little bit worried about him and that injury. So I wouldn't say that Darrisaw is injury prone.
Yeah, I feel like if you're you play unsafe, or if you're just not good at keeping your body healthy and stuff like that, and you're not eating right, and you don't take your training seriously, yeah, I think you could be injury prone. But um, I don't feel like Darrisaw is in that category. He had nothing going wrong with him until he had that guy roll up on his knee from behind, and that's just freak accident. I don't think that is issue. And getting a concussion, anybody can get one. That's just tough. He started out. He played. You're talking about his rookie year with the abdomen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Groin injuries happen. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's I think that's happened to Caitlin Clark. She's lingering
Yep.
issue. You gotta. The only thing there is rest, and by
Yeah.
the end of the season, Darrisaw played really good. He started out pretty slow to begin in the year. People were hating on him because they say he's kind of starting out a little slow, but he finished the season, really good that year. So I don't feel like he's injury prone. I just think, yeah, the concussions and the last injury, I just think were freak accidents. And other than that, he doesn't really haven't had any, like, hamstrings always failing on
Right.
him or anything like that.
Right.
It's
Like Christian Watson for the Packers. That's an injury prone player because he routinely gets the hamstring bug. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's an injury prone player. What do we think about Ward? I'm assuming he's talking about Jihad Ward, who was kind of their one trick pony. I think he led the Vikings last year in interior pressures. He's another guy where, he does his job on the interior line, where the way that the Vikings like to rush with some of their packages is they will take their defensive tackles and their whole job is to open a gap for a blitzing linebacker. And so that's something that he was good at. I would think that's something that Levi Drake Rodriguez or Tyrion Ingram Dawkins could learn to do. So, I'm for the side of letting a younger guy figure it out rather than bringing him back for pennies. But if they bring him back for pennies, I don't really care. It's fine. What do you think, Dave? Jihad Ward. Any thoughts?
No, I don't have any.
Yeah. He's a jag, right? Just a guy.
Now, is there a particular storyline that you're, is high on your list going into this season?
Yeah. Well, real quick, I just wanted to say one more thing about guys avoiding the PUP. Will Fries, you had talked about him a little bit there. He's on a quicker recovery than Darrisaw. O'Connell did mention that today in his presser, that he's going to get ramped up much quicker than Darrisaw. It sounds like his availability for not only training camp, but for week one is not in doubt at all. So that's good to hear that Will Fries just needs to basically get in football shape, and he's going to be ready to rock and roll. Which leads me to my first storyline of camp. How soon can we get this starting 5 offensive line out there together and balling in front of JJ McCarthy? Is this going to be such a slow process trying to get all 5, Darrisaw, Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, and Brian O'Neill, gelling together? Is it something that we're going to mash together a week before the Bears game, or are they going to get several weeks together in training camp? That's something I'll be interested to watch.
Well, I kind of feel like Kelly, Fries, Darrisaw probably won't see but a couple plays the whole preseason.
No, but I'm talking about in training camp.
Yeah, but in training camp, I would think their first joint practice would probably be like maybe a goal. That would be I would think that would be a kind of a nice target. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I think that would be nice to get the whole starting lineup out there.
Yeah, especially with a rookie starting at left guard and Donovan Jackson. I would like him to get as many reps as possible with Darrisaw before the Bears game. If Darrisaw is planning to make it back for that game, I want them to get a lot of reps together. So yeah, that's my first storyline of what I'm.
Now, was he talking about Jihad Ward or Jay Ward?
I figured it was Jihad Ward because the Vikings brought him in for a visit.
Okay.
But I don't know. If you're talking about
he's
Jay Ward,
Jihad Ward, then
let me know. What's the storyline that you're looking for?
Well, you just brought up the left guard. I kind of hope he starts out like, hey, this is your job to lose.
Mhm.
Same thing they're doing with JJ McCarthy, your first year starter. Let's make him a first year starter. Because for me, previous, and I've said this before, so I'm always being a dead horse. I'm kind of consistent when it comes to this. Is that we've had interior linemen that just weren't strong enough to start right away. They just didn't have NFL strength yet, and some of them never got it. He already has it. I'm no doubt in my mind this guy has NFL strength, so I'm not worried about that. And the guy's super intelligent. That I don't think the game plan or anything is gonna be. And the fact that he could switch to left guard and left tackle and go win a national title mid-season, is beyond amazing. So let's get that guy in there, give him all the reps he can, and let him fail. You know,
Yeah.
let him fail, and get that out of his system before the season starts, and get that guy starting left guard right away.
Yeah. I like it. I'm right there with you.
Storyline number one.
Yeah, and it's really hard to evaluate interior offense line in training camp. So like really all we have to go by is one-on-ones and things like that, which are really designed for the defense to win. But I'm also super excited to see our left guard situation, and I'm right there with you. I hope he's the day one starter. Get all the kinks out, before week 1 so that he's ready to roll. I don't think the Bears have a very menacing interior offensive line, so it's kind of a break-in week or two for him to get his feet wet in the NFL, and I like that for Donovan Jackson as well.
In the comments, let us know if there's a storyline you want to talk about.
Yep.
I did notice something in the walk-ins. Justin Jefferson and Addison were walking in together, and he goes, "The duo's back. The duo's back."
Yeah.
Are we gonna get a trio? That's what I'm wondering about.
Okay.
Storyline.
Okay, so like is Naylor wide receiver 3? Does he step up, or Ty Felton, or Rondell Moore? Like, do we get that extra wide receiver weapon, or is it still just TJ Hawkinson is your trio? So we'll see. Jordan Addison likely going to get that 3-game suspension now that we have the final results of that case. He has settled and agreed to a guilty plea for wet reckless, which sounds like it could be a rated MA production.
Mature audience.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. So for that first 3 weeks, we may need Naylor and Rondell Moore or Ty Felton, somebody to step up, because Justin's going to get all that attention. And I think TJ Hawkinson is going to be that dude. TJ's going to be a busy dude the first 3 weeks of the season.
Oh, here he goes. Yeah. Week 1 starting Mr. Jalen Moore. How do we feel? Thanks Dylan for pointing me to that. Yep. So it's almost like Moore and Naylor are different players. So yeah, I think it might be a lot of situation there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that Rondell Moore is your guy who catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage and tries to get the yak, right? And Naylor is your speedster. He's the guy who's running the clear out typically. He's running as fast as he can down the field, trying to separate, while Justin Jefferson runs the crossing,
deep routes to
the deep
clear
in.
Out the, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So
Moore is like I feel he's not water buggish, but he's close. He's not super man out there, but he's pretty mobile, man. He's pretty shifty. Yeah.
I think for the first 3 weeks without Addison, the Vikings also try to run as little 3 wide receiver sets as possible. They try to run a lot of 2 tight end sets, and run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, and that helps with the play action too. If you got 2 tight ends in there, and one's your, I don't know how many $1 million blocking tight end now.
Yeah.
But both can catch, both can play. Both can get out there. So, I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good take.
Speaking of guys walking in, there's 3 dudes that I noticed. Wow, those are big damn dudes. And Darrisaw was one, of course. He's always looks like a monster. But he walked in next to Levi Drake Rodriguez, and Levi looked as big as Darrisaw. He's a big ass dude. Levi LDR is a big dude, and I'm excited to see what he has this training camp with a full year under his belt, another year in the weight room. He's got a motor that doesn't stop. LDR is going to be fun to watch. And then the other guy we talked about already, who looked big as hell walking in the Vikings training camp this year, Donovan Jackson. He was a big dude. Yeah, I was like, damn, like our offensive line is going to be nasty this year. And speaking of that, O'Connell mentioned in his presser that, last year was the most physical training camp they've had, and he was really happy with that. And he thought that he noticed, especially early on in the season, that translated to the running game and defensively as well. And he wants to carry that steam into this training camp. He wants a physical training camp, and he thinks that they have the pieces along the line now to play some bully ball. So it kind of goes back to what we were just saying, where, expect a lot more 2 tight end heavy sets running the football the first 3 weeks, which is good to see because we need it. We need to become less one-dimensional, even though we have the best wide receiver in football, and we got to run the damn rock a little bit more.
And Dylan, I agree. One of the good things I think they did is they take chances on players that are injured, that need and get them at a good price. And I think Rondell Moore is a guy that could really pay off. He's going to be just an added weapon to this offense. We're just full of freaking weapons. It's ridiculous. He's gonna impact games. I feel like it, and I agree with you. Hey Justin, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Let us know what you want to talk about. What kind of storyline you're looking at. We talked about the receivers. Who's going to start at left guard. Things like that. So throw some things out there. And then School Doc had 3 man crushes he wanted to talk about. So
3 man crushes?
Yeah, the 3 big dudes you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we covered that. So I was looking for an Ian Rappaport tweet while you were talking that said something about Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals breaking down on talks. So I was wondering what's going on with that guy. If they're just not going to have him this year, is he sitting out or what's going on? Dude, Bengals are always going to be cheap. I know they're paying Burrow and Chase and Higgins a lot of money, but the way that they handled that rookie situation is just terrible. That kid might not even play for them. They might just lose the pick.
Is this the second round guy?
No, that's their first round pick, Shamar Stewart, I believe his name was.
Okay.
So he could elect to sit out the entire year and re-enter the draft. All over contract language. Yeah, you can do that. And the reason he's sitting out is because the Bengals
are re-enter the draft, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you re-enter the draft.
I'm just thinking of Bo Jackson.
I don't know if it's ever happened before. If the comments know, please let us know if this has ever happened. But I know that that's what happens. Has a player ever re-entered?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just curious. But again, Bo Jackson was a long time ago, and he was drafted by Tampa and decided to sit out and went to baseball. And then he played with the Raiders, and I think they traded him.
Okay,
but I don't know. I can't remember. Like they traded his rights to him, but I might be wrong.
So I'm not seeing if it's ever happened in the history of football. So I don't know. I'll have to look that up and let you know. But we could see that situation. And so the whole reason this is happening is over contract language that says if he is to get in trouble, suspended, or even fined, okay, they could elect to take away his guaranteed money in his contract. Now, Jeremiah Searle said this on the offensive line committee podcast, that there's language that says even if he gets fined for shit on the field, okay, so unnecessary roughness or something like that, they can still take away guaranteed money in his contract based on that type of stuff. So the agents are playing hardball in this situation. Like, no, we're not going to have our guy sign this contract, because if we do, it sets a precedent for every guy after us having to sign that same deal. And that screws the players, right? So this is a standoff. Now, apparently there are some teams that have that language in their contracts already. I don't know who that is, but the agents, whoever's representing Shamar Stewart, is playing hardball and says, we're not signing this. And so right now it's just this giant staring contest for a team that has no defense right now, right? Like they could use a little pass rush. And so in my opinion, the Bengals are just stepping on their own dick right now.
So, what do you think on this question? You sold on Theo Jackson at C tier. Should give Justin Simmons a look?
Theo Jackson all day.
Yeah, I think we've kind of decided that we're really looking forward to have him an opportunity.
On the Alec Lewis podcast, he was talking about Theo Jackson in his last podcast, and he just said that he has the utmost confidence in him. It's not even a question. Everybody loves him, from the coaching staff to the team. This is a very smart guy. He knows the defense in and out. He's going to be reliable. Every time we've seen him play football, he's been very good in preseason and in the season. So he's just been behind good players, right? Kind of like a Dallas Turner. He was behind two great players, so it's time for him to play.
That's a storyline. Dallas Turner, man. I think both of us kind of think of him as a breakout player because he's going to get more opportunities this year. Because a guy in his way is no longer on the team, so I think he's just gonna get his and that guy's reps. So I think I think it's a guy that's gonna come in situationally. He could get 10 sacks this year. He could. He's the type of guy that I feel like could get 3 in a game a couple of times during the year in situational football. So that I think is possible. So anywhere in the 8 range would be awesome. Pressures would be more important, but I think he's athletic enough that he's going to be probably one of the better cover guys out of the 3 outside linebackers.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be a weapon. You want to use him in coverage, or you want to use him rushing the passer, use him up the middle, use him on the outside, use him to cover a tight end.
And that's one of the things I like because let's see. So Grenard, I think he can put his hand down, and Dallas can play the outside linebacker position in like special downs, and we could have 3 big time pass rushers plus our tackles that are pass rushers. That can be some serious. And I did see a recent post on, I forget who it was. It was some prognosticator, and he was like, Vikings have the number 1 front 7.
Yep.
I'm like, that's pretty
I
retweeted
retweeted
praise.
that. Yep.
Oh, you did? Who was it? I forget.
I'll find it. But Paul Charchian quote tweeted it and said, "Hey Packers, you have to click on the see more button to see where you are." The Packers are like 27th or some.
But just the overall, talent, it's across the board, right? Everybody can get after it.
Warren Sharp tweeted this out. Best front 7s in 2025. Number 1, Vikings. Number 2, Broncos. Number 3, Steelers. Number 4, Giants. 5, Texans. 6, Browns. 7, Jets. 8, Eagles. 9, Bills. 10, Lions. Let's see. Bears are at 20. Packers are at 25. So interesting.
It's team is so stacked. It's all focused on JJ McCarthy and how well he could play this year.
I was at a dinner with my company, my CEO, and a couple of my bosses, and then one of my mentors, and we're at Maggiano's in Oak Brook, and they're trying to jab me about the Vikings or something. They're like, so who wins week 1? They're all Bears fans, right? I'm in Chicago. They're all Chicago guys. And they're like, who wins? I was like, I'm going to say the Vikings, right? Like the Vikings are going to win that game. And they're like, really? Like shocked that I said that. I'm like, well, first of all, it's a 1.5 favorite for the Bears, right? Like it's not like I don't be so shocked. But then I kind of broke down, like, let's look at the roster for a second. I just kind of broke down the roster a little bit, how good that front 7 is, right? Our offensive line, our offensive weapons. And I was like, and I broke down a little bit of our quarterback history, like the Pasternaut, Kirk Cousins, with Kevin O'Connell, Nick Mullins with Kevin O'Connell. Any guy this guy puts at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings just turns into above average quarterback play. Like, are we really about to say that a top 10 pick is going to torpedo Kevin O'Connell's legacy. Like, with this good of a supporting cast, I just don't see that. So then they agree with me. That's the end of the story. They're like, oh, well, that actually kind of makes sense. So then they were like, okay, I can see the Vikings win. So
yeah, I mean, just
I
the
won.
roster. This is probably one of the most complete, deepest rosters in the league. And I haven't said that in a long time.
No,
because we've had good rosters, but not deep. And
there's
I'm
always
trying to
been something missing, right? The defensive tackles, lack of interior pressure, guards for 10 years, wide receiver 3, right? Corners. Like, there's always been a hole. Like, where's the hole right now? Cornerback 4, tight end 3.
Yeah, people are might point out our cornerbacks and safeties, but I'm all over Rodgers, man. He was a Pro Bowler before he gambled, and then he just sat behind. He was whatever, a sub on a Super Bowl team. So and now we got him. This guy's gonna just boom. I think it's gonna be a pretty good cornerback group, I think, and the fact that safety, I think. We already talked about that. We're pretty high on the replacements. So,
yeah. Real quick on two-toned comments here about Chicago didn't doing anything on defense. I think their pass rush is going to be one of the worst in football. They have Montez Sweat, who did not have a great year last year. And who else do they have? They got a guy from the Colts who's athletic, but I don't think he's that great. They have Grady Jarrett, who hasn't been good in like 3 years. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to pressure us much week 1.
You heard it here, folks. Bears are going down.
Oh, we already know that. Vikings by 2 scores.
The fact that we play them on the road early in the season instead of late in the season is just kind of
that's nice.
out too.
Yeah, I like it. Would like to play week 1 at home always, but whatever. We'll start on the road. Then we get 2 at home, back to back. Ryan Pooh. That's good stuff there. Nice, Daniel. Got an extension. Some of the tweets, by the way. I saw our friend Arif Hassan with a great tweet saying, hey, anytime you get a chance to extend a GM who's like 15 and 54, you got to do it.
Oh,
you got to do it.
Dude, I don't know. People have listened to me in the past 3 years. I don't know. Some of you guys have been around a while. I used to have a show with Justin, and he would constantly tell me that the Bears were in a better situation than the Vikings. This was going into 2023 before the 2022 with Cousins, great year, right? When we went 12 and
basically when we both hired our GMs, right?
Yeah, we both hired.
It was battle of the rebuilds.
Yeah, so going into that season, and I was like, okay, first of all, we're better than they are. And we got the best, receiver in the league. We got, we got this, we got that. But he thought the rebuild, tearing it all down was just going to get them faster to the Super Bowl than us. And I'm like, dude, people want to, free agents are going to come if you're winning. They come if you win. And he's even went into this next year saying the same thing. Even after we won all these games, kept saying the same thing. They're in a better situation than they are. I'm like, fuck no, they're not. And so, I'm like, and they fired their coach, and they got, and so here we are with all these wins. They got very few, and we're closer than they are, I think. And they're just starting off with a new coach now.
Yeah, no, I agree. But at the time, I think there was a valid argument from Justin because they were on track to get the number 1 pick. Caleb Williams is supposed to be a can't-miss generational prospect, and year 1 didn't look like that, okay? Now, we don't know. Caleb Williams may turn out to be a very damn good quarterback in this league, but year 1 had a lot of red flags, and I'm not convinced. And he's going to have to prove it to us, and Ben Johnson is going to have to prove that he can coach him. There's a lot on Twitter going on today with Courtney Cronin breaking down all the things that Ben Johnson said that Caleb Williams had to get better at. It's like, hey, I need you in the playbook 30 minutes to an hour every day. If you can't do that, you shouldn't be a quarterback. Ben Johnson's a blunt dude. He's not going to baby you. Maybe Caleb needs that a little bit. Number 2, I need you to work on your footwork every day. Number 3, I need you to pass the ball better, essentially. So like I was reading this and I'm like, okay, so you just need him to be a better quarterback is basically what I'm seeing, right? Like there's a lot of red flags with that guy. It may not work.
Which I made him undraftable. I did not want him as our quarterback when going into the draft. I had
I think it bothered you when he cried.
I had Atlanta's quarterback. I had JJ McCarthy and I had Jaden Daniels. Those were the 3 guys I wanted. And if we didn't get a guy in the first round, I was thinking, okay, we'll take a couple of the others. But all of them went in the first round. So if we didn't get one of them, we're gonna get any of them.
I was team anyone but Bo Nix. I thought Bo Nix was going to be hot garbage, and he proved me wrong year 1 for sure. I thought his arm strength was Christian Ponder 2.0.
He was second round talent. For me, I was like, he's second round talent. He's may go in the first round. But with him, I just like the production was there. And they were saying that he throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Well, you take all those throws out, he's still throwing for 3,000 yards.
Yeah,
he's still got 30 touchdowns. The production was there even without the throwing behind the line of scrimmage. And you could say that about and then they were saying the same thing about Jaden Daniels. He can't throw the ball downfield. Guy has a great deep ball. He was amazing. And he can run. He's got everything. Jaden Daniels got everything. Everybody's like, oh, he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna, he gained like 10 pounds and he looks like a NFL quarterback now. It's like, yeah, I don't know. People didn't like certain players and then, but I understand. I get it.
Well, let's get back to storylines here, Dave. What's another storyline that you're excited for training camp?
And yeah, I meant to say Penix. I said Atlanta quarterback, but I meant, you know what I meant. Yeah. But storyline.
So we talked a lot about the offensive line. I think we're excited to see this new offensive line.
Yeah. Of course, there's health concerns. Because Kelly Fry's, Darrisaw. Then you got the rookie. So there's still questions, and we kind of hope that you get. It's one of those things like, are we gonna hit on everything again? Like we did last year. We're going to hit on everything again. And we got, there's talent there, obviously. But, will this defensive line finally get after the quarterback? I think that might be a storyline. What's your answer to that?
I like the question because when you phrase it like that, it almost sounds like the Vikings didn't pressure the quarterback last year, which was false, right? The Vikings, I think, led the league in pressures last year, if I recall correctly.
Well, it came from the outside linebacker.
Correct.
On the interior, though.
Correct. The Vikings were dead last with pass rush win rate from the interior defensive line last year. So, yes, in the spirit of your question, I'm very excited to see Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen and what they can add to this defense. And not only that, but these young guys. We talked about LDR, Jalen Redmond. We know what Phillips is. He's not really going to be a defensive interior pass rusher, but there's one more guy that I'm missing. The Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, the guy we just drafted. Can one of these dudes surprise us and get some valuable rotation snaps to keep Jonathan Allen, to keep Hargrave healthy, because we're going to need those guys to limit their snaps and stay fresh to keep this thing juiced all year long. But hell yeah, that is a really exciting thing to be watching. The trenches and training camp should be popcorn. It's just going to be cinema.
And I think I just already mentioned, people are going to probably just look to our cornerbacks as not being a great position group. I think it's probably one of the best we've had. Now that they're younger, we've had these old guys hanging on their career, having to play, zone the whole game. But now I feel like we got some cover guys that can stick like glue to some people and be a lot more flexible. What do you think about the cornerback position? Is it top end good? Is it deep? What do you think about it?
I think it's going to be like an average NFL room, which is going to be good enough to do what we need them to do. And I think that they are more versatile in what they can do. Like last year when we were watching guys like Shaq Griffin and Stephon Gilmore out there, they looked slow. They were running 4.5 out there, maybe slower 4.6, and we were protecting them with zone. But when you got them running down the field, that's when issues started to arise. And teams knew that, so they were trying to get us in those situations to make them run. And so now that we have Isaiah Rodgers who can run, Byron Murphy who can run, Mekhi Blackman who can run, not as fast, but he's still okay. He's faster than the other guys we were talking about. And then Nudie in there, who's again not the fastest guy, but still he's a young dude. He's going to be faster than the guys we referenced. Like this
Lothran, I think he's pretty mobile.
Yeah, that's Nudie.
Oh,
yep.
sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, I do think that I think it'll be better than it was last year. And I think that the room is being slept on right now.
I'll leave this for the chat. I really don't care. I think he'll get an opportunity though.
Browns. Let's just say Browns. It feels right.
That would be a good idea. Yeah. I think he could have been a Steeler if they let him go earlier. You know, that would have been probably a pretty good fit. And he might hang out. Until there's an injury.
Yeah, I don't think he'll back up Penix all year. He'll get shipped somewhere.
He got cut.
He got cut?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. When did that happen? Today?
Last week, I thought.
Are you sure? I did not see that Kirk Cousins got cut. Did I miss that?
I mean, or was dreaming it. Kirk Cousins.
I feel like I would have seen that.
At least. Yeah, it was big news. I don't know.
I think you got duped.
I got duped. What the hell? I thought I got cut last week.
He's not cut. Nope.
What the hell? I think I did.
You got duped.
I'm spot checking Twitter sometimes, and damn it. Why did I think that?
I don't know. Maybe you dreamt it.
I did dream it then. I thought he got cut. Sorry, man. False alarm.
It's all good.
Yeah, I Googled it, and I'm like, I don't see anything.
Yeah, but I'd be surprised if he ends up being the backup.
No, Kirk Cousins was not released by Atlanta Falcons. He remains on the roster and will receive $10 million roster bonus 2026. So yeah, I saw some misinformation, and I didn't comment on Twitter about it. And this is the first time I even mentioned his name since. So I caught some stray misinformation.
It happens to the best
of us. It was fake news. Sorry. Not real, Dave. First one to admit when I'm wrong, man.
It's all good. One-on-one's going to be fun this year. Just seeing, Donovan Jackson, Will Fries going up against these guys, Jonathan Allen and Hargrave. That's going to be really fun training camp battles to watch.
Yeah. I just feel so much better with the, being deeper at defensive line. It was looking pretty weak until we got those two guys. So pretty, and the fact that, people are acknowledging the fact that this is a pretty solid front seven. What do you think, Harrison Smith? Is this his final year storyline?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, they get to like the NFC title game and lose. You could see him coming back one more time, I guess. But I think we have to go into the assumption that it's going to be his last year. Yeah,
did you hear Kevin O'Connell talking about it? Like he would occasionally check in with him and never ready to talk, coach.
Yeah, and then he sent him a
calls
text
and says, "I'm ready. I think I can come back."
Because it was like free agency, right? And so Kevin O'Connell's like, we would like an answer, but he was doing it in a nice way, like just texting Harry, like, "Yo, what's going on?" And Harry's like, "I know what you're going to ask me. I'm not ready to talk about it," or something. So
it's great that a player could have that much respect.
Yeah.
And it's very few there's very few players that have that respect in the NFL that, teams will wait for you. And
Yeah.
especially at that age, I mean, it's most teams be like, "Yeah, he's old, just go," but he just means that so much to the franchise, and he still can play.
Yeah, Daniel thinks it's his last year. I mean, yeah, I think it has to be the assumption right now for us going into the season.
I think if it's like NFC title game and we lose, he might come back. But if it's first round out of the playoffs or Super Bowl champions, or even just going to the Super Bowl, I think he'd retire. But I think the one thing that I keep him playing is if we make an NFC title game with the first year quarterback, and I'm like, you know what, we can make it next year. I think I might bring him back, but he'd have to really leave the season healthy, I think.
Two Tone says that he could see him as like a coach next year. I don't think so because
This guy likes to hunt and fish and get
yeah,
out
well,
there and
he's got
kids and
he's got a young kid at home. He just got married
yeah.
not too long ago, and when you're a coach, man, you're putting in a lot of hours after the
More than
players are gone.
players.
Yeah. Who's the corner? Terrence Newman was a coach for a little bit for us and had to back out of it because it was just too much time, too much of a commitment, and the pay is nowhere near what you were making as a player. So it's like, yes, you love the game, but uh, you don't love it that much. Like, I don't see him
Yeah.
sticking around.
Although he probably could be a coach pretty easily, just like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady, but just the fact that you played so long and you've given up so much to do this, and the health and everything behind that too. I just think he's such a family guy
Yeah,
and so into just living life that I just don't see him going to the NFL to coach
I
and
agree.
making a couple $100,000,
Yeah,
few 100,000. You'd have to be like, I want to be head coach someday. I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants that.
I think the last storyline that I can really think of is just I want to watch Jordan Mason run the damn ball in training camp and see what that looks like. And in training camp, when you're running, the ball, it's like they block for the first 2-3 seconds and they just kind of stop playing, and the running back will just, run and not be tackled. But I just want to see the bruising style of play and see, like, is the running game adapting? Are we doing a little bit more than just inside duo or zone left, zone right type stuff, right? Are we being a little bit more true gap scheme and being innovative with the run game because we have the horses to do that now?
That's one of the things is that they can't game plan for one running back with this group. It because he can bring a different element to the game, and they just can't. They can't just say, okay, we're going to play this way the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have. If they do, it's going to hurt them. And I think that that's what's the greatest thing about getting Mason.
Yep. I still think that RB3 is not on this roster, by the way. I think we'll pick someone up who's cut.
Yeah, good.
What about you guys in the comments? Any training camp storylines that you guys are excited about that we didn't touch on?
I'm gonna answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
For me, or I'm gonna ask you a question. I could not see her helmet logo watching TV. It barely could notice it. I think they're sweet when I see like a big picture and close up, but it sucked watching it on the game because I'm used to seeing the purple with the horn, and I couldn't. It was tough to make out the logo on the side of the helmet watching TV. That's only downside I thought about the white uniforms, but I think they were pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think they're
I
sick.
I do like our throwbacks better than anything.
Oh yeah, the throwbacks are money.
Throwbacks are Jesus, those are perfect.
Those are pretty. But yeah, I like the whiteout. They'll probably do that once a year.
Never go to the Reebok unis ever again. I even though I got like 3 of them, I just they weren't good. that collar just bugged the crap out of me.
Are you going to watch the Hall of Fame game? I usually watch like the first couple drives and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this sucks. And then I stop.
It's pretty bad now.
Yeah. Like not a single starter will play.
Yeah,
It's a tough watch.
I was listening to an interview with Tom Brady, and he was there was a picture of him. His rookie card was a picture from him playing the Hall of Fame game, and it was the year Joe Montana and Ronnie Lott were inducted to the Hall of Fame. So he was starting the Hall of Fame game or playing in the Hall of Fame game, and his childhood idols were being entering the Hall of Fame at the that earlier or that day or that weekend. So that was kind of a neat little story. But one of his rookie cards is a picture of him on the field, and they're playing like on AstroTurf. So that's how old he is that crappy AstroTurf back in the day. But that was kind of a neat story because he was grew up a San Francisco fan and Joe Montana, and I think I think it was Edelman. Like you're happy you passed or you tied Joe Montana. He goes, I'm going for Jordan. Michael Jordan. I remember that. It was a great question.
Yeah, man. I'm just stoked that it's time. Like it's time. Like when I go to work through training camp and in between patients, I'm on Twitter just refreshing. Like, okay, I'm looking for any updates, right? Is anybody injured? Like, is there a sweet training camp video? Like JJ McCarthy to JJ, JJ to JJ connection. Like I'm always just on Twitter refreshing, and it's a fun time of year, right? And just knock on wood, we're praying for no injuries. No Mekhi Blackman situation from last year, first day of camp. That was a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, here, did you see the throwback unis for Pittsburgh? No, they weren't throwback unis. They were alternate unis. They weren't the throwbacks.
Are those the jail-looking ones?
Yeah. Well, those are like the throwbacks are the ones that look like they're bumblebees, but these are like vertical stripes. So they gave them like the same color, the same type of. Yeah, there's alternate unis that aren't throwbacks, but yeah, they're pretty ugly. I think they're just ugly.
They're terrible.
The same as their throwbacks. They're just absolutely ugly. Packers too. They're terrible too.
The blue ones.
Just their unis. All their unis are just terrible.
Yeah.
I hate when people say that Packers got better uniforms than us. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, I'm obviously biased. I think the Vikings have one of the best uniforms in the game. That's how I became a Vikings fan when I was so young.
I mean, the Cowboys, I like the purple. Vikings. The Steelers' uniforms are pretty classic.
I don't like the Cowboys. Like to me, I don't.
Certain years.
Everyone's different. Like there's people who are like, oh, the Raiders jersey. I'm like, really? Like the Raiders have like a very ugly jersey to me. The silver and black does not do it for me at all.
Yeah.
Browns, terrible. Gross. Not a big red guy, so it's like Cardinals, Falcons, Patriots, that's not my thing. Bills, it's not my thing. Like red, white, and blue is not my thing. The San Diego baby blue is the best. That's the GOAT jersey.
Those are pretty cool. I guess they're going navy blue.
Yeah, which I don't like that one. But that's okay. We're gonna beat them in those. That's a guaranteed win now.
The Lions aren't that bad. Uniforms aren't that bad. That's the best thing I'll say about the Lions.
Here's the thing about Packers jerseys. Like for me, like inherently we hate the Packers, right? But like yellow on a jersey color is not. I actually don't mind it. We're just ingrained to hate the Packers and the green and the yellow, but like from a color scheme, I don't mind it. But I get it.
They're the same colors with that trash company. It's like
yeah. They look like the trash cans.
I forget. Who's got better uniforms than us?
Hey, hold on.
Seattle.
This is a good question. I think I know this answer. How did the Cowboys
Waste Management? That's the trash company.
Yeah. How did the Cowboys get labeled America's team when they were never my team. Wasn't there something? So just like the Lions were put on Thanksgiving every year because they needed more fans, Detroit literally needed more fans. So that's why they put the Lions on Thanksgiving every single year. I think there was something similar
Cowboys too.
going on with the Cowboys. And
Cowboys did that too. So it was the Lions and the Cowboys.
yes,
They took advantage of every opportunity to market their team, and then they ended up winning several Super Bowls along with the Steelers. And I don't know, Cowboys, they just marketing made them
So there must have been a time way back when they were just not popular because they put them on Thanksgiving, and then the Cowboys blew up said.
I think they chose to go on that. Like, I think that was Jerry Jones who did that.
Oh,
I think so.
Daniel, good question here. Do we have any insight on Josh Metellus Holden? So during the presser, that was something they talked about.
Yeah, they did bring that up.
And from what I was told, that Kwesi said we have great dialogue with his agent, and talks are going well, type of thing. That the GM speak, they're always going to say that. But what was interesting was that they did say that they expect him to participate fully in training camp. Okay, so Ben Gessling on Twitter, I saw this before we jumped on. His speculation was that they will reach a deal. But it seems like it's not going to affect his reps, and I don't think he's going to hold in. I think he's going to participate.
So here's the explanation of the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys earned the nickname America's team due to a combination of factors, including their on-field success, which I mentioned, a national television exposure, strategic marketing efforts. I said it was a marketing deal. But specifically, NFL Films producer Bob Ryan coined the term when preparing their 1978 highlight reel, emphasizing their popularity and widespread fan base. It had to do a lot with their winning, their TV coverage, and, again, marketing, I guess. But I think Jerry Jones actually put them on Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken, take advantage, again, more marketing.
Yeah. And they've always been one of the highest valued NFL franchise in terms of
he made
money making. Yeah. Yep. And he
what
comes
an
from
investment.
oil.
I think he like
money.
$50 million he paid for it or something like that.
Yep.
It's crazy. I'm like, how much did Jerry Jones buy the Cowboys for? Let's look. Oh, no, $140 million.
Yeah.
Now it's what it worth, 4 or 5 billion.
Yeah, it's worth billion.
Maybe 7 billion.
Yeah, it's
probably crazy.
Speaking,
and they haven't won a Super Bowl since what, 95 or 6 or something like that?
Oh yeah, they're in a big dry spell right now. Speaking of eye problems, did you guys see that Najee Harris had an accident on 4th of July? Firework hit his eye, and it's currently still healing. So he's not ready for camp with an eye injury. Very lucky. Could have lost an eye. So I think he just got a superficial cornea injury. So it should heal. But every year, man, it's like somebody messes up. JPP losing 3 fingers.
Yeah. I had a firecracker go off on my hand once. That hurts like motherfucker. You hold on to a firecracker like this, you're going to blow some digits off.
I think we should end this show on one of my favorite college stories. You know those little pop rock things? The snaps, you give to kids, snaps. And they throw on in the driveway and they pop. So in college, I walk into my buddy's room, and I had this friend named Clayton, and they all have these pop-it things, and they're undoing them, but without popping them, and they're putting all these little rocks that come inside of them in this giant saran wrap bag. So they make a giant pop-it that's about this big, about the size of a baseball. Okay. And we're up on like the second floor. Daniel says everyone's got a Clayton. We're up on the second floor. We open the window and we see one of our friends. I think her name is Angela. She's walking down below us, and he's got it in his mind he's going to throw this pop-it down there and scare the shit out of her. And he goes to throw it, and he squeezes it too hard right by his ear, and it goes off. And I'm pretty sure he damn near perforated his eardrum. He couldn't hear us for like a week. But it's just, that was one of my favorite stories from college. Just absolute college thing to do. Totally idiot thing to do. lucky he didn't, lose his hearing over something stupid like that.
Me and my brother used to do fireworks, and one time I thought it'd be a great idea. I called them trash can displays. I'm in the town. I live in a motel. There's a house attached to it, and there's a big field behind us, like a whole square block, which I had to mow all the fucking time. But I brought out the hose. I put glasses on, protective eyewear and stuff like that. And I had a water hose just in case. And I put a trash can, and I put like 4 gross of whistlers. So that's like 600 bottle rockets.
Yeah.
And I'd take this little 30-cent shower, light it, put it in the middle of it, and all these would just go off. And people told me they could see it from the neighboring town, which was like 10 miles away. But cop would roll in at about 9:30 and shut me down. But I tried to get like 4 of them off. But every year I would add shit to it every year, and it would blow out the bottom of the trash can because it's the fire. I ended up having to put like 2 or 3 trash cans because I set up 2 of them, and then I had to get the other one to cool off before I could fucking light it again. But yeah, because the flames are just shooting out from the paper and the sticks and stuff of the bottle rockets that didn't work off. But there's propane tanks, in my backyard. There's propane tank across the street. There's propane tank next to us across the alley. I'm like, fuck, what was I thinking? And my nephew's uncles from the other side of the family are over there side of the street just looking at me like, who's this fucking guy? We're both uncles, but I'm like 15 years younger than them. I was the idiot uncle.
Dan says he's seen people catch on fire from sparklers. So we were thinking about letting my daughter Ellie use a sparkler this year for the first time. She's 3. And I saw a video where you can take a Solo cup, turn it upside down, put the sparkler through the top of it, and they hold it through the cup, right? So they can't burn their fingers.
Good idea.
So, yep. So we had one of our friends of ours brought their kid, and they have a little boy who's about 6, 7 years old. So a little bit, he's older than Ellie. So we're like, we'll try it with him and make sure that everything goes okay and that it works. He puts his hand in there. It's working great. He takes his free hand and grabs the damn sparkler on fire, and he burns his hand. So we go inside and we, put it under water. I think he got a little blister. So it's like, you can't win. Just no fireworks, no sparklers for kids. Keep everybody safe. 4th of July is just extremely dangerous, man. Booms and fireworks. Who thought this was going to be a good idea?
We had bottle rocket wars and shit. We were shooting bottle rockets. One day I decided to come out and I light 2 Roman candles and made people dance back and forth. And it was so dry that the ground started on fire. So I'm like over there, I just run over there and like stomping this shit on the ground. But the thing about sparklers, there's a guy who made a bomb out of one, and he just got all these sparklers and probably made it like this wide, and he put one in the middle, so when it burned down it would light everything and it would just blow up just like a bomb. If you ever, just fun fact, you can make a bomb out of sparklers.
Yeah, just be careful. July. Purple Haze, he says, "Skol, everybody, football is back, baby, go Vikings." Please, please, please. One of my favorite mottos from Score North is, give us one before we die. It's time. Come on, whatever higher entities up there. I know that you're not a fan of the purple. We know this. We can tell from experience. Just give us one. It's time. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm tired of doing wellness checks with my mom. Because she's in her 80s now, and I said, Mom, you got to hold on. You got to hold on. So let's win one. We got to win one.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Great episode. We're ready for training camp, and next week we'll have some practice highlights to talk about and some takes from training camp, and that's great. Like, finally
talking about how McCarthy's next Hall of Famer.
Hell yeah.
Jason from Twitter.
All right, Bob, Dan, Hayes, thanks everybody for joining us. Great to have you as always. America. All right, Skol, boys.
Yeah. Skol Vikes.